Alright, let's start it up. We are back with more Deceive Inc. We are finally getting to that field upgrade video I've been talking about for, I don't know, a month now or so. We stopped we delayed it a bit for the new season, and then had all exciting new season stuff to play with. But we're gonna do it here now. So our agenda here, I'm gonna show what I use. I've got just 5 here. You can ignore 6, 7, and 8. I haven't set those up. Don't use those slots yet. But I'm going to show off what I use. You can kind of see them here, and then we'll talk about why and various things you should think about while you're setting your own up. Customizing these to yourself is going to be the best way to do it. Customizing it to yourself, your playstyle, and the agent you're playing is going to get you the most out of them. Though I'll make some general suggestions and talk about where I think certain field upgrades lie, whether you should put them on your grays, your golds, and everything in between. So one last thing before I really hop into it, everything in this video is going to be, well, not everything, but all the opinions are my opinions. Obviously they're opinions, they're not always going to be correct, and you may disagree, and that's fine. But nothing I say here is going to be fact, except for, of course, the super obvious facts, like your expertise on the gray does plus 15%. That's a fact. Everything else where I say, like, I think this should go here or there is going to be just an opinion. It may be wrong. You may have a different one, and that's fine. Let's get right into it. Talking here, number 1, actually number 2. For some reason, my main's on number 2. This is the field upgrade I have probably used the most. I set it up back in like season 0 before seasons even existed. I haven't really changed it since. I haven't really felt the need to. Expertise here, intel capacity, social, hacking speed, and health. Honestly, health is probably a little high here. You could probably knock that down a bit. Slide that to the left and just slide everything up in its place if you wanted. You can see here I have one called testing. I'm kind of testing to replace the new main. This is kind of what I'm settling on. Still not quite happy with it. You can see kind of similar ideas, same chips, different organization. But yeah, at most videos, and if you've seen on this channel, I will be running this one. This is my set it and forget it. Never, I set this up once. I don't have to worry about it. Works with some degree of success on every agent, and I never have to think about what I'm getting because I'm always using the same one. Moving on, I do have specific Larson and Madame ones. You can see here I've prioritized expertise cooldown. Hacking speed stays in the exact same spot. Still prioritizing health. Social battery is my favorite field upgrade personally, and then intel capacity is something I always like to have. Larson and Madame specifically I've called out because they really want to have their expertise almost more than once a fight. So that's why I've given it the highest priority here. This is my Gourmet Chavez field upgrades. I also, fun fact, this number is incorrect after the this plus 250% is no longer accurate. When I was trying to set this up, I found out, well, didn't find out in the patch notes, they did a change. It's actually only plus 200% now. I found that out when I was doing some math for this video. So yeah, that's only plus 200%. I'm going to stick my mouse right over that 5. But again, similar ideas, just kind of took the main, shuffled it around, put the nutritional supplement into the gold slot, and took out the expertise because I don't really use it on or need it on that specific build. And then the last one, the newest one even, is the Sasori build. Again, basically just took main, copied it into the Sasori slot, and replaced the expertise, which I don't need as often on Sasori, with an extended ammo pouch, because Sasori actually starts with so little ammo and can so quickly use so much ammo that I have found just that 30% ammo useful. So that's that. Now we're going to move on to talking about why I've set these up the way I have, a little more in depth, and things to think about how you should be setting yours up. But I think most people was probably here to see what mine look like. That's that. We'll come back to these to go over them after I talk more on why these exist. But if you want to copy and paste any of these, there they are. Alright, we are back with the sheet here. I've set this up. You can see all 9 field upgrade options on the top and all 5 of their various colors and upgrades. Worth noting that anything with a percent is plus that percent. That's not a percent increase. It's a adding this much to adding this much. And I just didn't get all the pluses in. My sheet was being a little annoying. And then at the bottom there, you can see I've tried to make 5 categories. So we're actually going to start at the bottom. Everyone knows you usually start at the bottom of anything you're reading. So I've organized this. Gray is things you will have every single game, but are weaker. Anything you want to have every single game is you can put on gray. It's going to be weak, but you're almost guaranteed to have it, like 100%. Greens, I've written 75% of games. Actually, before, when I was trying to make this video in the last season, I had 90% of games in there, but green rooms have just dropped in priority due to the lack of purple keycodes in them. So when I'm playing now, I actually find myself, oh, the vault's open and I still haven't visited a green room, because the blue rooms now have so much more priority being able to get those purple keycodes, the green or the blue keycodes. So it's possible now you could be entering the vault without a green chip. Of course, you can kill someone, pick it up. They're still very common. You can definitely get one. It's just that they are not quite as, easy to find, easy to have, I suppose. They're still as easy to find, but they're not as easy to have in the new season as they were in the last season. So I've dropped that to 75% of games. Might be a little low, but, it's something you're going to have, but not necessarily every single game. So the blue ones, these are widely available. There's 5 of them pre-vault. They are kind of your middle strength, middle availability. This one, purple ones, I like to think of the purple one as one I can pick up in the vault. Obviously, there are 4 purple safes outside of the vault that you have a 2 out of 5 chance of finding while you're trying to find those vault terminals. So definitely you can get it earlier, but that's the one I like to think of hey, I can always get this in the vault if I need it. And of course, gold gives you the biggest improvement. So it may be the rarest, only 3 of them available pre-vault, 4 of them available in the entire game. Those are your giant big improvements that you really want to have, but they are 3 out of 5 of the vault rooms do have a gold chip in them. So they're not actually super rare. You can get your hands on one. So now I thought we'd go over and I'd give you my thoughts on each of these. So cover accelerator first up, here's your increases. Pretty much, I think you can put cover accelerator safely on any of these options, depending on how prioritizing you are prioritizing cover, how high you are prioritizing cover. Sorry, that sentence was awful, but basically, however high you're prioritizing your cover regen, it's a personal thing, right? If you're always finishing fights, getting kills, you get those spy packs, that restores your cover. You don't necessarily need a cover accelerator. If you find you're escaping a lot, or whoever you're shooting is escaping a lot, and you're caught out without a cover, often you may want a higher cover accelerator because that standard automatic cover acceleration is happening more to you. Personally, I don't use a cover accelerator on any of my builds just because I don't find it that useful. Usually, I'm either getting those spy packs, or I often use the bounce pad to make myself a little corner to regain cover safely in. But that's just me. You may have a different idea. Down to extended ammo pouch. This one, before Sasori came out, I would have told you never to take this one. I am going instead to tell you to take this one at the gray level at the most. Let me just fill in my black background, and we will wipe the text on that. So gray backgrounds, yeah. So gray at the highest. You should take this on Sasori and any agent with a single shot. So your ace weapon 3s. And your Yumis, like the Yumis, things with the 1 bullet in the clip, this ammo pouch becomes more valuable because of that only one ammo in the clip. On things where you have a bigger clip and you know, a lot of ammo in reserve, having 30% more ammo out of like 120 isn't a whole lot. It's just not worth it. You can, you know, pick up ammo off people. So that's my thoughts on that one. Probably, you can see I only run that on Sasori. So that's that. Down to external hard drive. External hard drive is a important one. It's how much intel you can carry. So it's kind of up to you how much intel you want to carry. For me, and I think the really easy number to shoot for is 13 intel at a time, because it's 5 to get through a blue door and 8 to get through a purple door, and 5 and 8 is 13. So if you have more than 13 intel, you can get through that blue and purple room without having to stop to get intel or find it in that guard room. So it's for that reason, I think you should only take it at the green or the gray levels. Plus 40% gives you 14 intel, which gives you 1 extra one than that 13, and 20% is 12, which means you only have to find 1 intel in that guard room, which often you will find, not always. Sometimes the guard rooms have no intel, but you can always work around that. I think putting it in any of these higher slots is just going to waste it, unfortunately. I think those slots are better utilized for something else. So there we go. I think you only put those on one of those 2 slots. Now, overclocking. Overclock is hacking speed. Hacking speed is super important in this game. The faster you hack, the faster you get intel, the faster you open doors. You get into, you know, spots quicker. Hacking speed is probably one of the most important chips. So you can put it anywhere. You should have one. Like, this is a you should have it. You can put it anywhere. I think higher is better. I try to run it on purple. You could see in testing, I was running it on gold. Yeah, put this in your builds, put it high. You can run it anywhere if you really want to, but definitely have it somewhere. Bulletproof fabric. This one can have like a long talk on it. This is how much health you get on your chip. These are all in percent, but since everyone has 100 health, it's just plus 5, plus 8, 10, 12, and plus 15 HP. There's a lot of talk on these about how much health you need to increase the amount of shots it takes to kill you, or increase the amount of time it takes to kill you. So you can see in my main, I'm running plus 15%. That's just because I think a very simple more health is better. That in this game may not actually be true. For example, if I'm fighting a Yumi and they headshot me, it's 2 headshots whether I have 115 HP or I have 105 HP. Since headshots do 102 damage, you know, I would need to get, you know, plus 200 some odd health, or plus 100 more health to actually survive 2 headshots. So those are the kind of things you're thinking out. I'm sure someone has put much more time into the bulletproof fabric specifically than I have to go crunch the numbers and say how much is the right amount. For me, I'm just going to generally throw it out there and say you should have one, because specifically for the Yumi headshot, the Ace passive 1 headshot is going to do 102 and 101 damage. Have it at least on gray to survive that 1 shot. And then anything higher than that is up to you. How much health do you need? Do you feel safe having? Based on, again, these categories below, I think you can run that on anywhere. And we will push on to Field Agent Kit. Field Agent Kit is your expertise cooldown. This is really agent dependent. This is a really specific one, so like the opposite of hacking speed. I think hacking speed you should always have and like have it high. Field Agent Kit is super dependent on who you're running. For example, Larson Madame, I called out, I want to have that expertise up probably more than once per fight, so I run it on gold at the fastest speed I can get it. You can run it lower depending on, it's really dependent on what agent you are playing, but basically think about it as if I want it up every single fight, you know, gray's probably enough if I'm not, you know, I'm fighting on average. If I want it up a lot, a little, you know, you got it's up to you, your playstyle and your character. I really can't tell you this one specifically, just kind of give you an idea of, you know, maybe green here says I want this up every single fight, this one's I want it up more than once a fight, and this one's like I want it back a little quicker. Ideas like that. Alright, let's talk about my favorite one, social battery. Social battery is when you're doing a social interaction, you gain this much health per second. I don't think this is worth it. It takes way too long. If you're only going to get one back, just don't bother. Go to a health thing, get, you know, 10 seconds to heal 10 health. You can take that 10 seconds to go find a piece of food. You can take that 10 seconds to get 10 seconds closer to a health station. Right, I don't think 1 per second is worth it. On the flip side of that, I think 7 per second is too much. I don't think you want to use your gold chip on healing over time, since healing is not super plentiful. You get it from spy packs, bathroom walls, and food. You know, it's not super plentiful, but it is available. And getting the difference between like a +5 and a +7 is not enough to warrant the use of my gold chip. Especially, you can see we've already left 4 different things that are potential gold chips. So yeah, that's my thoughts. When it's somewhere in the middle, definitely +5 is good. +2 feels a little slow, but you can get away with it. I do recommend having this one on your build somewhere, because just socialing to heal is a very safe option to do. You know, going to a bathroom is something people may have a tripwire there, hack trap, or just be watching the bathrooms themselves. Eating food, you know, is something anyone can see you do, versus doing a social interaction. NPCs do those. You can just sit somewhere. It does take yourself sort of out of the game while you're healing, but at least you're safe while doing so. So run one of those, and you probably want some middle ground on that. Now, a nutritional supplement is... I just realized that my numbers... Actually, sorry, I didn't change these numbers. That's at 200. And let me quickly double check the numbers here. Did I update them? Yes, I did. All right, those are the correct numbers. Good, sorry. So where do you want to run your nutritional supplement? Obviously, you want to run on gold only for the gourmet build. This is another one of those. That was a joke, but this is another one of those that's kind of up to you. How much do you value food? Maybe you value food more than you value that social battery. Food you can eat quickly, and if you get a lot of health back from it, maybe you don't need that social battery. Maybe that's too slow. You don't want to be out of the game, even though it's riskier. Personally, I'm kind of an all or nothing on the food. I'm going to say you run this at gold or you don't run it at all. Now, of course, since the season did buff food in general, but also the food chips, except for the gold one, which actually got nerfed, then, you know, it's a little different now. Food itself heals more, so I feel better taking food or eating food in game. I don't know if the middle chips are worth it for me yet, but if you're the type of person who thinks it's going to be, then absolutely grab middle one. For me, I think it's gonna be 200%, or I just won't bother and I will go to a healing station or use my social battery. That's basically my comparison. Is I would rather a social battery for like however much time versus someone seeing me eat that enhanced food. And now exfiltration scanner. Exfiltration scanner, what it does is it's when you're using packaged vision, the intel drain is slower. So this is a really easy one to know where to put, and the answer is nowhere. Just don't use this. I'm honestly not sure why it's in the game, but basically exfiltration scanner only works while you're holding the package, which is automatically in the 3rd phase of the game, assuming you are the person with the package. The uptime of exfiltration scanner in an actual game is really low. It's got such a narrow use case that it's just not worth taking. I would much rather have just an extended hard drive and a high overclock chip to get more intel and hold more intel than have my intel drain slower. So just don't take exfiltration scanner, and that's really it. We've gone over those all, and you can kind of see where my builds came from with these thoughts, hopefully. We will pop back to them and I will talk about them, but pretty much if you post me, does this field upgrade thing look good? And you know, as long as it's fitting into these categories somewhere, I'm going to tell you that if that works for you, that's great. All right, now we'll pop back into game so we can look at my builds one last time. All right, we're back on the screen for a second because I realized I want to pre-answer a question or a statement someone's gonna make. Someone's definitely gonna say, when you were talking about nutritional supplement, you were only talking about out of combat, where nutritional supplement destroys social battery in combat situations. And to that I say that is totally true, valid points, but there is not always food near you when you're in combat, and yes, you can force combat near food to press your advantage. It's sometimes an option, sometimes not. My opinion doesn't really change. I still think it's a 200% or just don't have it. But again, there are valid reasons for taking nutritional supplement at whatever level you feel comfortable with. Just wanted to vocalize that before someone commented and was like, yeah, but nutritional supplement's really good when I'm in combat and I can eat like 6 pieces of food. And it's like, yes, you're totally correct. Feel free to take it. I'm not gonna yell at you for it. Have fun with it. Whatever works for you at the end of the day is great. Now we will go back to the game and go over the builds and do outros, that sort of stuff. Alright, we're back in game here, just going over these one last time on your screen in case you wanted to copy them, but I do always suggest, always will say that you should make your own field upgrades. You can definitely use the sort of framework or mold I've laid out here the last few minutes, but it's always going to be better to make them yourself. Since you and I are different as players, you will definitely come up with something different but better for you than I ever could. We play different agents, we play them in different ways, just we're, not the same, duh. So, this works for me. You'll definitely find something that works for you. You can definitely use these as groundworks. You can straight copy them if you want to, feel free. But I think something you make yourself is always going to work better for you. Just wanted to go over that. And now, just to say, because there may or may not be these types of comments, if a lot of people, or if anyone really wants to sit there and comment, hey, your build's bad, you should use this one, just don't bother. I've laid out the last few minutes here exactly why I think I've picked these and exactly what I think you should think about while you're doing them. These have been opinions and guidelines at best. There's no rules here. So yeah, you can definitely say I run health too high on my main build. That's probably true, but it's been there and it'll probably still be there for a while unless this testing one works out to be better. I'm testing, obviously, I'm open to changes and I'm working on things, but we just don't want to see people arguing what's best in the comments. Since everyone plays differently, we're all going to come to a different best option, which is something I actually really like about this field upgrade system. Two different people can look at the same game and come to two different conclusions based on the way they want to approach that game. And this sort of lets you mix and match and pick what is going to work best for you, which leads back into the you should make your own. But hopefully these ideas and frameworks I've kind of talked about will give you some starting ideas and what you should be thinking about. Again, you don't have to follow the rules I've set out. That's just how I think of these things. And yeah, I'm always a little worried that when I make videos like this, the comment section is going to devolve into some back and forth arguing. I don't really want to see it. It's, it's just not helpful at that point. You are going to come up with different answers and you will both be right, or all three of you, however many people, I don't know. you're all going to be right. Just do what works best for you, and I hope this helped you. I'm going to hit up the outro now, so please leave a like if you did. Comment on your thoughts for sure. Just don't argue with people about what's best, because, yeah, we just went over that. Yeah, subscribe for daily Deceive Inc content, usually gameplay. If you haven't seen my channel before, it's like 90% gameplay, and then periodically we do a video like this where I talk in my opinions for a while, and then people yell at me about them. They don't actually. Comments have been really nice in the past. But yeah, so most importantly though, I will see you in the next one.